A blessed day to you, all my sports to the bone people. Welcome back to the channel. Alright, my viewers and subscribers. So, coming up in this video, we're going to take a look at an interview that was done by Sir Curtly Ambrose. And he was addressing the fact that, we're not producing a lot of pace bowlers in the region. He spoke about the subpar pitches and, other things, other reasons why we are not producing quality pace bowlers in abundance. So we're going to look at that. Plus, we're going to take a look at some CPL. We see where the TKR, they announced a couple of players that will be returning. People like the Andre Russell, the Sunil Narayan, the Pollard, the Puran. All of these guys are returning as TKR will be mounting a challenge for the title. Also, we're going to give you some info on the West Indies women. They are set to take on Ireland pretty soon in St. Lucia. So just give a listening ear until the end and make sure you hit that subscribe button. All right, let us kick things off with this Sir Curtly Ambrose interview. I am taking this one from the Observer Antigua, right? Not the Jamaican Observer. This is the Observer in Antigua. So the headline says, Sir Curtly Ambrose, dead pitches killing fast bowling. So the article starts and it says, former bowling great Sir Curtly Ambrose believes that subpar pitches continue to thwart the development of genuine fast bowlers in the region. So this is Sir Curtly Ambrose right here now, and I quote, Even when I left the scene and Courtney Walsh left the scene and so on, we had a couple of guys who came in and could bowl really fast like a Fidel Edwards and a Kemar Roach before injuries. So we had a few guys, but what I believe is the main problem is the pitches we are playing on. End quote. So he's saying that after he and Courtney Walsh left, they still had a couple of guys coming through that had the ability to bowl real fast, but they weren't given the right support where pitches is concerned and all of that. So he went on to say, the pitches have gotten so slow and low that when you look at every team now in the region, they may have one or two fast bowlers to take off the shine, so to speak, and then spinners bowl for the rest of the day. So the fast bowling stock has downward tremendously because of the surface. And if you look into what Sir Curtly Ambrose is saying, it's definitely factual. Because when you are watching regional cricket, you have fast bowlers that will come and they will bowl a couple of overs. But after that, it's mostly spinners and medium pacers that they think can get movements off the ball and things like that, He went on to say, they are not good for fast bowling and it's very discouraging. Ambrose went on to say, when we go overseas and we get a pitch that's a little bit lively, we are all at sea because we are not accustomed to bouncing to chest and neck height and all that stuff. So that is why I didn't like to compare. That is why I don't like to compare. But going back to the great West Indies teams after past, cricket in the region was a kind of thing. So every pitch in the Caribbean was quick and bouncy. And if you can't play properly, then you are in trouble. So that's why these guys were such great fast bowlers and the great batsmen, right? So we're such great fast bowlers and great batsmen. So, when you go overseas, it's nothing new to them. End quote. And this is a debate that we have had for a couple of years now. What are some of the main reasons why we are not producing fast bowlers? I think that Sir Curtly Ambrose is definitely on point when he speaks about this. But I also think that bowlers, well, I can't say it's because they are not motivated anymore. But I also believe that the level of work that the bowlers used to put in back then I'm not too sure if these bowlers are really putting those sort of work anymore. Because back then you had to be extremely fit to play test cricket. So people would be running miles, people would be doing a lot of physical work just to make sure that their body is in shape, they are keeping up. But these days, most people really want to play T20 cricket and T10 cricket. So they are just going to get their body into shape where they can bowl 4 overs, you understand, for a game. Not to say that they are deliberately trying not to be fit, but the level of work that you had to put in to play a 4-match test series, a 5-match test series, you don't have to put in that amount of work, and the players are aware. You understand? And the fact that we are not playing much test cricket here in the Caribbean, the players are not going to be keeping themselves into that in that shape. You understand? If you look overseas, obviously players are going to, you understand, they have the lively pitch to bowl on. But the fact that some of these teams are still playing 4 or 5 test matches per series, well, mostly just the Ashes, the bowlers are going to try and keep themselves in good shape. You understand? They are going to do the work to make sure that they are in good shape. If you look like a Jimmy Anderson, if you look like a Stuart Broad, if you look at these guys are in their late 30s, early 40s, and they are still able to bowl, not say fast, but they are still bowling at a good pace and they are still bowling at the highest level. It's because of the work that they are putting their body through. You understand? So I do agree that the pitches tend to cause problem, but the guys need to put in the work also if they are going to, be able to get the work done. That is how I see it. So I think that Sir Curtly Ambrose is on point. But there are a couple of other factors, and one of the main ones, I think the players are no longer willing to put in the work. That is something that I am thinking to myself. All right, moving on to everybody's favorite form of cricket, T20 cricket. And we see where a couple days ago, the TKR franchise, they announced their players, some top players that they have retained. So we see the likes of Andre Russell, Sunil Narayan, Captain Karan Pollard, Nicholas Pooran. They have all returned to the Trinbago Knight Riders. And they are going to be mounting a challenge for the title. We have the likes of Akil Hussain, Jaden Seals, and these guys, Mark Dale, that are all there to try and overpower the Jamaica Talawas and see if they can get the title. You remember that people like Dwayne Bravo is returning. You understand? So, it's going to be interesting, my viewers and subscribers. Definitely going to be interesting. One would look at this squad and they would say these 6 or 7 players that I just named, these players would be strong players on paper, and you would say you only need a couple more players to put together to see if you can win the CPL. They had most of these players last year, and we see they finish at the bottom of the table. So let us see how things will work now that they are, most of them going to be spending a second year together. Now let us see if they are going to gel properly and see if there's going to be a lack of ego, and they will do what's best for the team. So Trinbago Knight Riders, my viewers and subscribers, looking strong on paper here based on past performances from some of these guys. So let us see how it go. And just to finish off, yesterday CWI gave us some information that the West Indies women, they are set to host Ireland in St. Lucia. So based on what they are saying here, Cricket West Indies today announced, that was yesterday, the match schedule and venue for the West Indies Women's International Home Series against Ireland Women. They say the highly anticipated series will feature the three CG United One Day Internationals and 3 T20s at the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground in St. Lucia. Now the games will go from the 26th of June to the 8th of July. So for those who are, eagerly anticipating this series, there you have some information. I think by then they would have named the person that will be taking over as West Indies women's coach. So we're going to continue to monitor the situation, and I'll definitely give you some more updates on that. Big up on yourself, my peeps. Oh, before we go, today we have the FA Cup final. Manchester United, Manchester City. You all know where my heart is. So at the end of the day, when we touch base again, we will talk about it. Big up on yourself.